Welcome travelers to another D&D build. Today we're going to be doing Alfyn the Apothecary from Octopath Traveler. Alfyn is quite the quirky guy, but nonetheless great at what he does. But what exactly is it he does? Alfyn is known throughout his hometown of Clearbrook as a great apothecary, a medicine man. In combat, Alfyn is able to use his exclusive skill Concoct to combine medicine to create a mixture he jots down for future use. That's right everyone, we're making an alchemist. Of course, our goals for this build are going to be concoctions, apothecary skills, and excellent support abilities. Off the bat, Alfyn is a human boy from Clearbrook, so his race is variant human. Taking the PH-based stats, he has a solid 15 intelligence, 14 con, and 13 wisdom. This is because of his high medicine ability and his great proficiency with it. The constitution, of course, however, is a reference to the fact that in Octopath Traveler, apothecaries have a sizable HP pool. Next, Dexterity 12, Charisma 10, and Strength 8. I hate to dump Strength, as Alfyn is actually really useful at physical attacks, but we need every single ability score in D&D for this build, so Strength just had to be the least important. I'm sorry Alfyn, I guarantee we'll come back for it later. As a variant human, we get a feat. Skill Expert is our best bet, take the +1 in Intelligence for a 16, and we get Proficiency in a skill and Expertise in a skill. Let's take Proficiency in Perception and Expertise in the Medicine skill, which we get for being our starting class in a moment. Alfyn also gets a +1 to 2 stats. We're going to pick Wisdom for a 14 and Dexterity for a 13, which is quite odd for him not needing either of those for his main class. Which, of course, we're going to start off in Artificer. At level 1, we're taking Proficiency in Medicine and Nature. See, I told you we were getting that Medicine skill. This is fitting due to Alfyn's career in medicine and constant hunts for specific herbs he uses in said medicine. For equipment, we're going to get 2 simple weapons. So we're going to take 2 hand axes, one for throwing and one for swinging. We also get a light crossbow. Apothecaries in the game don't get bows, but considering Artificer gives us one anyway, we might as well take it. The Scale Mail also gives us an AC of 15, so we're going to take that, and we get proficiency in Con and Intelligence saves. Our starting abilities are Magical Tinkering and some spells. Magical Tinkering lets us make a mundane device magical, in small ways such as pictures or sounds emitting from them. Neat, but not really Alfyn's style. We know 2 cantrips. Let's take Ray of Frost for Icicle, and Spare the Dying because it fits his character. For our spells, let's take Cure Wounds for First Aid, Tasha's Caustic Brew for Empoison, and Fairy Fire just to help our friends a little bit because, Alfyn's all about that. Level 2 in Artificer gives us Infusions. As long as we have simple mundane items, we can make magic out of them. Taking Enhanced Weapon, Enhanced Defense, Alchemy Jug, and the Bag of Holding. Artificer lets us use 2 of our 4 choices, and we're of course going to use the Alchemy Jug and Bag of Holding because they just scream Alfyn. Also, we're getting another spell, so let's take Identify. Gotta know your herbs, guys. 3rd level Artificers gain a specialty, and the ability to create tools, but we're here for the specialty. We're choosing Alchemist obviously, and I actually unironically love the Alchemist in 5e. It's really cool, and my favorite part is its 3rd level ability, which gives Alfyn the ability Experimental Elixir. Every time he wakes up from a long rest, he can roll 1d6, and if we have an empty bottle, we can make a potion according to a die roll. I'll show the table on screen now, so you can all see the wonders that we can end up with. Additionally, we gain 2 new spells, Healing Word and Ray of Sickness, which both fit Alfyn pretty well. We can also spend a 1st level spell slot to make another potion during the day. Now we're going to jump to Rogue. This may seem odd and out of place, but this is why we prioritized Dexterity earlier, so that we could do this. Now that Alfyn can make potions, it's time to give him the rest of his in-game abilities. Though, one of his most important abilities he'll get later in this class. For now, we get Sneak Attack, which isn't very reminiscent of our favorite apothecary here at first glance. But, when you think about it, Alfyn depends on his allies and expects them to depend on him all the same. And although he can pack quite a punch alone, Sneak Attack allows him to add an extra 1d6 whenever an ally is within 5 feet of the target. Additionally, we get Thieves' Cant, which is useless to us, but I'm sure you'll end up using it one day. Last, we get a skill for multiclassing into Rogue, so we're going to pick Persuasion. We also get another Expertise for being Rogue. Let's put that in Persuasion. Alfyn is quite charming, and we did his Charisma score dirty earlier with a 10, so this should make up for that at least a little bit. At level 2 in Rogue, we get Cunning Action for dodging, disengaging, and dashing as a bonus action. This is honestly useful for any class combo. 3rd level Rogues get to choose their roguish archetype, so we're going to pick Thief. If you haven't already figured it out, we're taking this for the Fast Hands ability. This lets us use our Cunning Action to make Sleight of Hand checks, use Thieves' Tools, or the main reason we took this class, to interact with an item. This will be the equivalent of our concoct ability, to use an item as our action and our bonus action, therefore using 2 items in 1 turn. Side note, what inspired me to do this as his concoct skill was actually the Octopath Traveler game guide. In the back it has a character sheet with potential Octopath Traveler TTRPG stats in it, and Alfyn's concoct ability is described as the ability to act with 2 items in 1 turn. So I figured that this was perfect. Also, Alfyn gets second story work, so he can climb better. Back to Artificer for level 4 and ASI. Let's put both points in Intelligence for a crispy 18. This lets us pick up another spell because our Intelligence modifier went up, and 1 more because we're an even numbered level. So our level 2 spells will be Purify Food and Drink and Featherfall. Useful in some situations, and I'm sure it still fits with the general support aspect. Alchemists gain Alchemical Savant. Whenever we heal or harm a creature, we can gain a benefit to that heal or damage equal to our Intelligence modifier, which is pretty good. At level 6, we can finally pick a second level spell. We're going to take Aid. This gives people more max hit points. Also, we get 2 new infusions, and we can use 1 more of them. So we're picking Spell Refueling Ring for more casting, and the Gloves of Thievery. Use whichever you like more, but I think the Spell Refueling Ring is superior, so I'm just going to say we're taking that for this build. We also get Tool Expert, so we gain essentially expertise in tool checks. Level 7 grants us Flash of Genius, meaning Alfyn can add his Intelligence modifier to the rolls of another creature a number of times equal to his Intelligence modifier per long rest. Level 8 we get another ASI, so let's go ahead and get a maximum 20 in our Intelligence. This gives us 2 more spells, so let's take Enhance Ability and whatever spell you want here, because next level we're going to be changing it out. At level 9, our little apothecary gets 3rd level spells, so we're going to change out Purify Food and Drink to create Food and Drink. We're also going to switch out whatever spell you picked last level for Haste this level. Use Haste on your thief buddy Therian to make him go even faster. Might do a Therian video in the future, and if I do, I'll link it in this video when I make it. Additionally, at 9th level we get Restorative Radiance. This means whenever someone drinks our potions, they get an additional 2d6 plus our Intelligence modifier in temporary hit points. Also, this gives us the ability to cast Lesser Restoration for no spell slot a number of times a day equal to our Intelligence modifier. So this is basically our Rehabilitate skill. 10th level Artificers gain Magic Item Adept, so he can attune to an additional magic item, and we can make magic items easier should we find ourselves doing that. But honestly, most people stick to infusions. Speaking of infusions, we get 2 more known, and 1 more usable. Let's learn the Gauntlets of Ogre Power and Enhanced Arcane Focus. I just like learning enhanced stuff because it can be useful in any build, plus, as you've noticed, I don't often use it. And by now, you probably have an actual magic weapon. So we're going to make use of the Gauntlets of Ogre Power. This brings our strength score to a 19, making up for the 8 we gave it earlier. Sorry it took so long, but we did get his strength up. We're also getting another spell this level, so let's make it Revivified. This covers the Vivify skill Alfyn uses in Octopath. Level 11 is neat. We get the ability to store 1st and 2nd level spells into our items, including weapons. This spell doesn't have to be one of ours as long as an Artificer can use it. Also, it doesn't take our spell slot, and can be used twice our Intelligence modifier times. So we get an item to cast an Artificer spell 10 times. I'm picking Cure Wounds at 2nd level. This means 10 times we can cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level. And if we keep infusing it every long rest, that's 10 times per long rest for 0 spell slots. Hell, we can even give the item to someone else in the party and they can cast Cure Wounds, because we already can. Or if you don't like taking up a spell we already have, how about infusing with Enhance Ability? This means 10 times a day we can give someone these great buffs like advantage on checks, double carry weight, etc. To be honest, there's really so many ways you can use this creative skill that's just so good. Down to level 12, in ASI, let's take the Tough Feat. This is due to Alfyn's high HP pool in the game. We also get a new spell this level, so let's take whatever you want because we're going to switch it out next level for something more useful. 13 in Artificer, we get 4th level spell slots. Remember that spell that I said we're switching out this level? We're going to switch whatever spell you took last level for Fabricate. This could be useful for an alchemist type character like Alfyn, but in-game doesn't really represent anything. Level 14, Alfyn gets Magic Item Savant, so he can attune to 5 magic items at once, and we get 2 new infusions. We're going to take the Amulet of Health and Belt of Giant Strength. Use whichever you want, but we're going to take the Belt of Hill Giant Strength because we just dumped Strength earlier. That makes it 21, so he gets an automatic +5 to his Strength, making him useful in close combat. We're also going to take the spell Freedom of Movement because it's a nice buff that helps underwater and in rough terrain. Now, I know earlier we got the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength, but just go ahead and swap out that slot for another one that you like. This can probably be the Amulet of Health, because it, in my opinion, most represents Alfyn. Level 15 is our final alchemist skill in Chemical Mastery. This gives us a cast of greater restoration and heal without preparing spells or using spell slots once per day. Additionally, Alfyn is immune to being poisoned and has resistance to acid and poison damage. Level 16 is our penultimate level, so we get an ASI and a new spell. Let's buff our con to a 16 and take whatever spell you want because we're switching it out right next level. Finally, we're level 17, and this build is almost finished. We get 5th level spells, and we're going to switch last level's whatever spell for the creation spell. Since this is our total 20th level, we're capping out here with 5th level spells, good magic items, and good HP. So to wrap it up, this is a great party member who would be good support and can definitely hold his own in the front line with +5 strength. This is Alfyn in his purest form. I think a few Octopath Traveler fans who watch this would agree with my reasoning to keep him as close to the base apothecary as possible. That's all for this video, Travelers. You stay safe out there. Have a great one.